Noisy Pixel.
What's up, nerds, and welcome to another Noisy Pixels discussions. I am Azara Lopez. Joining me today, Mark Damati,
What is going on, nerds? I am back.
and we're talking about The Last of Us Part 2 State of Play gameplay reveal. Showed a lot of new gameplay. Neil Druckmann got on the mic to talk about some details and some mechanics that haven't really been discussed. Mark, I just want to know, what are your general thoughts?
Well, generally, beautiful game. I thought the animations looked great, and like especially the camera angles that they chose to use when they I don't know, go through doors or just have something extra special to say at the time. Their camera angles are like really on point. And I think in general also the gameplay was much more dynamic looking. But what do you have to say?
I have to say, at first, when Neil Druckmann was kind of going through the points, the features, I was like, "Ah, this looks like a prettier Last of Us." And then it showed the combat and how the combat has evolved and how Ellie kind of interacts. See, The Last of Us pushed the way that player characters interact with the world, where they'll touch the wall or they'll touch something on a desk.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're seeing that evolved in The Last of Us Part 2, where Ellie's interactions with the world is so much grander than what we saw in The Last of Us. And they just push that to a whole new level, to where everything kind of around her manipulates her movements and her range of abilities, to where, like, oh, okay, she sees a brick. Well, normally in Last of Us you would just throw it. Well, now you throw at an enemy, you grab the enemy, take them hostage, and now you have another line of defense between you and group around you. You know, it's like stuff like that. You make a noise, returning as you make a noise, and clickers will come running and stuff. So there's all these tools that you have at your disposal that are just kind of growth from Last of Us. That's
Right.
where
So yeah, I agree. I mean, I did see a lot of new stuff, like you're saying, as well as such as I don't believe I remember playing in the first one like going prone and crawling through grass or anything like that.
it's
I could
yes.
be wrong if you correct me, but just the she was able to shoot her bow and arrow while laying down, and the animation was really nice. She like turned around, laid on her back, kind of laid in the grass and submerged herself, so you could see a lot more interaction with her environment around her. And I also want to mention that I really like the timing that the animations take to play out. Like, it's very realistic in the sense where like, let's say in other games you might light a Molotov cocktail in like a millisecond and it's just ready to go, but in this one you have to like prepare the cocktail, you have to take the time to flick the lighter, and all that kind of comes to play in this like very, I'm trying to look the immersive environment of the game.
How do you feel about the inclusion of dogs in this version?
I mean, I do respect the choice to put in something more, you know, ferocious and able to like seek you out like a dog, but it's kind of sad that you have to like burn the dogs with equipment sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to, like, that's the sad part. But overall, I mean, it couldn't really hurt the dynamic of the stealth part. You know, sometimes stealth mechanics I feel like can get a little clunky or
Or
overplayed.
yeah,
But
definitely.
the dog adds to it, I think.
Because I mean, they're going to be sniffing for you, which kind of eliminate, if you know the path of an enemy, like, you can pretty much stealth your way through any encounter, you know?
Mhm.
But adding the dynamic of an enemy who can kind of smell you out, forcing you out of your element, really changes the how you approach stealth. And I think that'll create some interesting interactions between enemy choking points. I also want to talk about the traversal in this game. You can now use a boat or a horse. That kind of opens things up. What do you think about this and how it will play out in the main game?
I mean, personally, I don't see like what they could possibly do with a boat other than like a simple like A to B travel. Like, I mean, I just don't see it playing as a major role. I do think it's cool the fact that water is a bigger role, such as Ellie can go underwater and you have to have you know, navigate underwater as well as obviously travel on a boat like we're talking about. I think it's cool. I'm more excited about the swimming underwater than the boat, but uh, you know, the horse, I like to see the homage to the original kind of horse style in this pandemic world.
Yeah, I'm always iffy about fast travel elements like horses and boats, because how do you make those believable? Because if you hear a boat, like, for a stealth game, a boat's kind of a loud way to get
I just
around.
can't. I mean, I'd love to see what they do. That I just can't imagine it being a major thing. I feel like it's going to be like a 10-minute, 5-minute thing, and then
Okay,
it's
yeah,
going to be
yeah,
over.
yeah. Or like a horse. You see a huge open field and there's one girl and a horse. Well, you can probably set up a way to get. I don't know. I'm just thinking outside of the box. I'm like, if they're looking for an immersive experience, if they're looking to put out an immersive experience, that's what I'm going to be looking for. You know, and
Hmm.
anything that they do that tests that, it's going to come off glaring. You know, like other games, other low budget games can get away with stuff, but when you're like, this is the most immersive game, well, I'm going to hold you to that. You know, you're going to be held to that because
Is
that's
it more immersive than Madden 2020? Come on.
nothing. Nothing is more immersive than Madden 2020. Let's get that out of the open right now.
I did like
But
the inclusion of new enemies. I don't know if there's only. We did see like the tank kind of
yeah, yeah,
poison
yeah,
guy. I don't
yeah.
know if there's more than that. I would like to see some more variation.
I guess with all these emotions and immersive experiences, we have to remember that this is pretty much just a zombie game. And that's pretty much what it boils down to.
It's about the
And
story, bro.
zombies are or the infected, I should say, they look really good. And I look intimidating and scary, and I want that to play out in gameplay. I want to be afraid of them. I want to enter a field of these infected, and I want to feel like I need to count my bullets. I need to pay attention to all my environments. Want to set traps. You know, I need that kind of difference between hunting humans and hunting infected in this game, and I want there to be a clear difference. I want to feel
Right.
a little empowered when I am against humans, like I'm in my element, but when I'm against those infected, I want to feel powerless.
True, true. You don't want it like with these type of games. You do. I feel like more complexity and challenge in these fights are gonna bring it home because you have all this equipment and all these things that you can customize. And if you're just kind of like using the same gun with your bullets that you've stored, it just kind of I feel like loses some spice. Like you were saying with the like running away from the zombies and being afraid, I feel like they have a really great system for lighting, and the way they do lighting in some of the scenes really adds to like the dynamic, almost like a Dead Space kind of lighting vibe where things are like flickering and dark, but you have like small areas that are lit up so you can like kind of be scared of that area, you know?
Mhm.
They did a really good job of trying to like really add to that level, the lighting level.
Showed a bit of the customization. Do you have anything to add on this, or did you notice anything?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of other games have done this, but I did like the actual visualization that they provided with when you, let's say, add a scope to the sniper. They showed actually Ellie putting the sniper scope on the gun as opposed to it just appearing or on a
Mm,
menu, which
mm.
was, this game's got a budget. I can't. What are you gonna say? I mean, they have hours and hours to animate whatever they want, and they did it. So that's what I have to say about that. It looks cool.
How did you feel about the last Vita player being killed?
I honestly was completely baffled that that happened. I did not expect it, and the fact that the PS Vita was on the ground with the screen uncracked with the game on, and Ellie did not pick it up, shows me that she is in a completely other mindset that I am not
Yeah.
capable of entering. I would
because,
have picked that PS Vita up.
that would be the one thing that's going in my backpack from my travels.
Like
She
if
was
you're in
playing.
a pandemic and you found a PSP on the floor, and all you need is a charger now. All you need to
Yeah.
find is a charger.
She was playing. The girl was playing Hotline Miami. You could tell from the soundtrack. I was just glad that they included it. But you're right. They should have cracked the screen or something. I don't know.
Like you
um,
just got murdered. No screen crack on that drop.
I know. I remember I like cracked a corner of mine out just from like dropping from my pocket to the sidewalk.
And God
Uh,
forbid you get stabbed in the neck.
The stealth elements in this game I want to touch on. They weren't. There was some times where she would poke her head out, and I'm like, okay, well, she's clearly in their line of sight, and I don't know. There's some elements where it's the stealth is still very gamey, I guess,
I think that's my
but
just general problem with these stealth games. I just feel like there's not a perfect stealth game.
yeah,
You can tell me I'm wrong, but I don't know.
I did like that she got shot a couple times though. Um, she does get hurt, and it does show on her skin where you'll see like blood on her body and stuff. I like those notifiers and kind of you don't need to kill every enemy, you know? Like they showed you you can get through a section of the game without just clearing out the room of enemies, which is really cool because that means that you can get through sections of the game without killing anybody.
Do you know if they
Oh,
provided any information on difficulty or like settings like that?
there was settings in the first one, but they haven't said that in this one. But there were settings, and then there was like a new game plus introduced to it, which makes it like nightmare mode or something. So it does get harder. Just to wrap up the discussions, how did you feel about Nora being in this, being a prime kind of focus on this gameplay reveal?
I mean, personally, I like when games tie all their sequels together in one big, spectrum. I mean,
Mhm.
it's nice to see just old characters come back, and whether they betrayed you and let's say Ellie finds her randomly in the environment, it adds for a really dynamic situation because then you're like, oh, is she gonna kill her? Does this girl come back? Does a tribe have a war with Ellie? You know what I mean? I don't know. There's
Yeah.
just more layers to it. I'm fine with it, and I think it was a good play.
Yeah, me too. I They didn't really show Joel in the gameplay.
Yeah, I don't think he's a big part.
I'm interested to see how he makes his way into this world. And I guess we don't have to wait long. The game is launching on PlayStation 4 on June, I think it's 17th, June 19th. June 19th. Couple weeks away. This was great. This was great to see at the end of the month. We should have probably gotten the game. I think today the game was supposed to launch or tomorrow, something like that, but it
Oh,
got
really?
delayed. Yeah. But hey, here we are.
What are you gonna do?
Any lasting comments?
My lasting comment is I am glad that they switched the perspective over to Ellie as from Joel from the first one. Again, classic, great play for story mode, adds a really great dynamic, and I really like how they showed age growth. The age of the characters. I really like that too in the visuals. But that's really all I got to say about the game. Can't wait to see more of it.
I'm in the same boat. They've showed that immersion is a huge thing in this game, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And we don't have to wait long. So thanks for listening. This has been Noisy Pixel discussion on The Last of Us Part 2. Tune in for more discussions as we head into the E3 summer months, and there's a ton of things being announced. So yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts on The Last of Us Part 2 trailer gameplay. Have a good day.
Drop a comment, nerds.